H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatt, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and it is Wednesday. My favorite day of the week is Women Rock Wednesday, and as customary, we shout out to all the women first. Like, we have a starting five every day. In case it's your first time this, we have a starting five every day of the first five people. But on Wednesday, we always recognize the first five women on the show. Let me see, are they there? I think they are. I saw some names. Let's say we got Mindy Collins. We got hold on. Y'all got Mindy at the top. That deserves. I got to get her some applause. We got Mindy Collins. We got Shanquetta. We got Shanquetta Pels. Watch this. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Watch this. Hold on. I got some more. We got Dale Griggs in the building. Hold on. Who else we got? I saw Jessica Brooks is in the house. That's for her. Hold on. And my girl, Karen Thomas, came in there on it. Hold on. Got something for Karen. Hold on. I'm not gonna stop there. My sixth lady of the day, Women Rock wins. It's Miss Keisha Stewart. Hold on. Let's get that for Keisha. Now they coming. Look at Tamika. Tamika there. They're gonna sign you. Hold up. Tamika. Hold up. Got something for Sonya too. Hold on. I got something for Sonya. Let me hit the button. Y'all know it. Hey. Y'all know on Wednesday, that's how I do. Celebrate the ladies. Ladies, I got something to talk to y'all about, man. Listen to me. I don't care who's not. Hey, Marquesa. Hey, Candace. Let me tell you something, ladies. Can I talk to y'all today? It's Women Rock Wednesday. Can I talk to y'all before Jimmy come on? Huh? What's up, Herman Scott? Herman Scott, I'm talking to the ladies. But Herman Scott, I need them today, man. I saw something. And men, I want you to learn from this, but I'm really talking to the ladies. Okay? First of all, I just want to shout out to some new people who haven't watched the show. This show is labeled a sports talk show, but this show is really an action show. We talk a lot because we be a lot, and we talk about it because we want to be about it. And I just want to let some people know sometimes we're not gonna always talk about sports. I'm gonna talk about. I went to attack minors of Jersey let's see what you call it, jersey celebration last night, because technically you can't retire the jersey, but they had his jersey number 22. I didn't even know because I didn't see him play in high school. But went to that last night. It's a remarkable thing, man. I had goosebumps on my arms because I was just saying, imagine getting your jersey retired at your high school. Hey, Madonna, but let me talk to my girls, man, because it's a lot of stuff happening in the news. But I just wanted to share something with y'all. Have y'all been watching these media attacks on Kamala Harris? Forget your politics. Forget you don't like. I'm just saying, have y'all been watching? Well, guess what? I have. Did y'all... Did you know apparently that a lot of people out there that don't like the vice president? Okay? What's up, Mark Edwards? Mark, follow me here. Women, follow me here. That has to be the only answer, because she keeps getting this terrible type of reporting, these terrible media attacks. Y'all know how I be watching these people now. If you've been watching this show long enough, you know Vice Vice President Kamala Harris was not my first candidate for the presidential race. Okay, I had some false information about that lady, and I let it affect me. And I came back and apologized. And as you know better, you do better. Okay, but she was ahead of Joe Biden for me. I ain't want him. I ain't want him either. Okay, let me get that right. Check this out, Nicholas. Check this out, Sonya. But when she was picked as vice president, it was cool with that. I was cool with it. I loved it. Y'all notice I talk about her so much, right? Don't and won't let nobody else talk about it. Cause I said this can really happen when she got nominated. You follow me? There's a lot of things that she brings to the table. But y'all follow me now, women. Y'all got to follow me now. I know there are some challenges in terms of how people are relating to her. I understand that. I understand that. Which also seems to be part of the information campaign. Notice I said misinformation. Okay? Remember, a while back I told you there's a difference between misinformation and disinformation. You guys may recall during the presidential campaign, there was a lot of misinformation. I got some. I was the victim. Okay? It's okay, y'all. It's okay. When you know better, you do better. There was a New York Times hit piece that made it seem like she was the worst prosecutor ever. I mean, some of my friends, we stopped talking for a while because he just, man, I'm from California. I'm California. I knew who she was. And all I did, y'all know how I am. What did she do that affected you? And he could never give me a nut. Shout out to Tack, you here, man. I know I didn't get a chance to see you. Everybody was talking to you, Tack, but I'm going to get back to you in a minute when Jimmy get on. But man, that ceremony blew me away last night. Being a former player, watching my son go through this stuff and seeing that happen for you, seeing other people come up to me talking about they want their number retired too. I said, man, have your ass ever scored 72 points in a game? They said, no. I said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So, Tack, we're going to get to you in a minute because I don't want to double talk it because you know Jimmy going to talk about it all night. And Jimmy stayed under his allotted minutes to me. I should have said nothing to him because I should have let him go on because he was doing good. But we'll get back to that. But I was a victim, Tack, of this Kamala Harris, this Women Rock Wednesday, Tack. But I was a victim of this Kamala Harris. It was a hit piece. They talking negative about her, and I kind of backed off on her. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I did. And if you didn't do an additional reading, you would have thought she was the worst prosecutor ever until you realize that was a one-sided opinion. That's why I tell y'all don't go and just listen to a tweet and go off about it. Go get the whole story. Okay? Then you find out she really had the first round of criminal justice reform initiatives come out of her prosecutor's office. You know, considered a progressive prosecutor at the time. But they didn't tell us that in the hit piece because all we was doing is reading the headlines, right? She continually gets attacked by the media. So I got kind of fed up the other day. I'm going to tell you why. For things that we later found out that are not true, that were just blown up and ridiculous, right? But the later revelation is not being true or being made up or ridiculous, but you never get that same type of energy and attention that the lies tend to get. Somebody might say some negative talking about Herman Scott on the front page, but want to come like the dude came to Jimmy and put Jimmy on the video. Tack, I don't know if you knew this. One of these guys around here put him on a video that tried to make him look in a bad light. But he want to apologize, but he did that in public on Twitter, but he want to come and tell me he want to apologize in private. No, y'all, it don't work like that. Don't work like that. The latest scandal to hit Vice President Kamala is she is a Bluetooth phobic. Let me get some drink on that. I'm going to let y'all. Women, y'all got to hear my heart on this one. I'm going somewhere with this. Tack, I'm going somewhere with this. The latest scandal, Landon Ardwan, that Kamala Harris is a Bluetooth phobic. Did you know that was a thing? Robert Risen, did you know that was a thing? This is a label the news outlet Politico. I have referred to this. Y'all watch it. I don't mean no harm, but I heard some people refer to Politico as shilitical. Okay, a lot of people don't even look subscribe to it, but you know sometimes I look, but they're unbelievable because that's how awful they are. Let me tell you what they did to her. There's a report on Politico they put out on her that apparently Vice President Kamala Harris is very cautious when it comes to this is what they're saying. This is how they talk. Kamala Harris is very cautious when it comes to various forms of technology. This how they writing about our Kamala Harris, y'all. And they framed it like this is a thing. The title of the article is Kamala Harris is a Bluetooth phobic. Y'all got to hear me on this, Tack. Tack, they probably printed crazy stuff about you long time ago. It started by saying Kamala Harris is never missing her AirPods. That's because she is wary of them. While a growing number of consumers are getting wireless, the vice president is sticking with the classics. Listen, watch this. What Karen at? Watch this, Sonya. She has long felt that Bluetooth headphones are a security risk. Y'all got to hear me. Juxtapose this stuff into the basketball community. This false information. Watch. They said she had long felt that Bluetooth headphones are a security risk. Watch this, son. You see what they did there? She was long felt that the Bluetooth headphones are a security risk. Let's just think about that for a minute. She was long felt. Now they are in the realm of emotions. And the hell they know how she felt. This is a woman we're talking about, y'all. And they're talking about her feelings. Yes, one of the most powerful women in the world. Excuse me. No. Yes. One of the more powerful women in the world. Guy got to sneeze. Oh my God. Oh, something in my nose. Y'all hold up. We'll go quick commercial. I'm gonna come back to that.
Nobody feels bad for you. Nobody feels bad, you know? It's a situation where you just have to.
I'm back, y'all. I had to sneeze. I didn't want y'all to see me sneeze. But check this out. But this is a woman, right? This Women Rock Wednesday that we're talking about, whose feelings are so distraught. This is what they trying to and womanly, that she is worried about wearing a Bluetooth headphone because it could be a security risk. The article continues now. As a result, Harris insists on wearing wired headphones. Former campaign aides to the West Wing playbook says. The article continues in that vein. He cautioned, hold up. They even printed, hold up. Let me give y'all something. They even gave us some visuals. Let me bring up some visuals for you, y'all. They even put this in there. Why? Look, take a look. When she told Joe we did it. If you look up at the top, she got wired headphone. Then they put this one up there. All of this in the article. Then they put this in it. Y'all know I'm going somewhere with this. What's up, T. Y'all home? Then they put that in there. Put that on. The caution has continued since the election. All of that stuff. I mean, she could be seen holding tangled up wire phones in a lot of pictures. And oh my God, they make it seem like those of us who use wire headphones are bringing down the nation. Y'all got to read the article. It's the headlines. With this commitment of not going to wear a wireless, she just, and the article continues. They contrast with her husband, Doug Emhoff, the second gentleman, who does not have these anxieties. That's what they said. He don't have these anxieties. So they're already talking about her feelings. Now they're talking about her anxieties. This is how, watch what if you don't know, you just reading this article and you don't know about Politico, you might believe this. Maybe if I hadn't told you this, you might believe this mess. And they actually use the word anxieties. So we got feelings, we got this emotional woman who got anxieties about her technology. You know that women are not good at pushing buttons and technology, they say. They're too emotional to make rational decisions. You remember that's what they said about Hillary. That's why them people didn't want to vote for a woman, President Hillary. This is how the article was staged, y'all. It was all over the media. Herman Scott, what you said, they're trying to paint a negative picture. Yeah. No. Herman Scott, they trying to paint a negative picture about her and her anxieties and how she felt. They ain't thinking about no Bluetooth, and I'm gonna show you why. You know I'm gonna come there, Herman Scott. I'm just letting y'all understand this mainstream media that we be listening to, and some of us be, it had to be true. I heard it on CNN. What's up, Shannon? It was all over Twitter, all over social media. And it was a lengthy discussion about it. And when they put it out online, I showed you the photo gallery. And a variety of poses with our headphones. I just showed them to you. If you're late on the show, go back and look at the show again on YouTube. And you'll see it. Hey, Tamisha, this Women Rock Wednesday, I'm sharing some about how this media trying to frame and hurt Kamala Harris. Keep going. I got something for you, though. I'm going somewhere with this now. I point out the fact that the talk about her feelings, y'all know when women in powerful positions, they always want to, I got you, Herman. You know how they say she was long felt. Then they say her husband, who's a white man, don't have the same anxieties. They saying this in the article. He wears AirPods. They say they spotted him in 2019 wearing AirPods, and he since upgraded since then. Oh, they talking about this in the article. Barnes said he knew it was coming. Keep coming. I got more. Barnes, you got a young lady that might be in this power position before. You got a young woman in your house that might be in this position before. Anybody got a daughter, especially in our community now? These kids are doing great things, man. I got to share with y'all some stuff that I'm able to share with y'all now a little bit later that I couldn't share earlier in this season. But think about it. Because he's a man, talking about her husband, he's not emotional. What is interesting about this article, y'all, other than is just a piece of crap is that Bluetooth technology actually is a security risk. They didn't print that. Did y'all know that? I didn't know it until I researched it. Bluetooth technology is actually a security risk. I know it, Tamisha, but Tamisha, I got more. Tamisha, I'm gonna show you why I'm pissed off in a minute. Y'all gonna know why. According to that article, it was her feelings and her anxieties. That's what they was trying to bring up. Her feelings and her anxieties. It's almost framed her as being feeble-minded, as if she was weak or too womanly and emotional. You follow me? The emotional, too emotional and too delicate to handle things like what? Leadership. That's what they painted. Social media took two sides of this, though. One side said, oh my God, the vice president is a Bluetooth phobic. I can't believe this. This is so ridiculous. This is why she should never be president. Y'all listen to me. This is why she should not be vice president even in the next administration. That's what Twitter was saying about our first black vice president. But when you look at the national security Twitter and you get away from the Politico folks who did a hit job on the first black woman president, what they never say in the article, Mindy, listen, what they never say in the article, that Bluetooth technology does have a lot of vulnerabilities. They're interesting enough, but see, y'all, some of us would read these headlines. I was guilty of them. And we'll just take it as face value. And interesting enough, cybersecurity specialists and tech reporters had to correct Politico. New York Times columnist Zenith Tufekci, and I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. But she tweeted that Bluetooth is a well-known security risk, including the possibility of escalating and executing malware on the phone. Then she put phobia in a question mark. Said, what the hell ain't talking about phobia? This ain't no phobia. Then Brian Tao, who covers the matters of surveillance and privacy for the Wall Street Journal, talked about Bluetooth peripherals are a security risk. If they don't rotate their unique identifier, I didn't know all this, y'all. I had to look it up. That they can easily be sniffed and tracked. There are flaws in the security that they can be compromised. Most people don't have to worry about things like this, but high-level federal officials should. Why didn't Politico know that? All right, then. Why did Politico do a hit job on the first black woman president about Bluetooth phobia? It's Women Rock Wednesday. Women Wait. Thank you, Mindy. Why? There's not a single line in the article about Bluetooth being a security risk. Not one line. They wanted people to think the girl was crazy. The lady was crazy. Remember, they talked about her feelings. They talked about her anxieties. They compared her to her husband. He uses AirPods. But then we had a whole gallery of pictures showing her with the wireless iPhone. What they think she's doing. I'm asking, what do you think she's doing? Speaking on an unsecure cell phone like that other guy, I'm not going to pronounce his name, refusing to allow his cell phone to be monitored. so that when he had private calls to his good old buddy Putin, he couldn't be tracked? Instead of pretending that Vice President Harris is a weak woman who is overrun by emotions and hysterics. Here we go, Mindy. We could have had articles to cover the fact that on Monday, I wonder how many of y'all heard this. On Monday, Vice President Kamala Harris was with a lot of black leaders to follow up with them on the Build Back Better plan. They didn't print that. Maybe Politico could have discussed about the fact that Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday, Vice President Kamala Harris is meeting again with a variety of women to address the issues of black women's maternal health and disparities thereof. That is not what they want to talk about. They don't want to talk about the fact that Tuesday, Vice President Kamala Harris convened a follow-up meeting, which meant she had to have a meeting before, because she has been about the business of meeting with the people. I searched for articles that covered these meetings. I did a search because I thought surely there would be news articles covering the fact that Vice President had met with black women leaders. Politico didn't cover that. It's Women Rock Wednesday, y'all. That's all right. Mindy, let me tell you something. It might not be nothing new, but guess what? I'm calling it out on this show. To talk about the administration, guess what she was doing? Politico didn't write this, Mindy, to talk about the administration's efforts to amplify the bipartisan infrastructure bill. That's what she's been doing this week. Or to talk about voting rights, one of the things that we care a whole lot about. This is a follow-up meeting that she had in July that was discussing how to protect the right to vote. During the meeting they had on Monday, these leaders and this, a lengthy group of leaders, I'm going to give y'all some of these names. So y'all need to Google some of these. We got some bad, mama jammers out here, women. This Women Rock Wednesday. I'm talking about y'all. Men, just hold on. Man, I promise you, we got to get it like this. I'm just telling you. We're not talking about the little table kitchen talk, the little red table talk women. We ain't talking about them kind of women now. This is a massive group of women. They engaged with the Vice President on the Build Back Better Act, how it would benefit their communities. They talked specifically about child tax credit, the universal pre-K program, child care investments. They discussed ensuring having equitable access to high-speed internet. This is what this woman been doing. But you talking about her and a Bluetooth? She reiterated her commitment to ensure the Build Back Better Act passes. Hey, Latrice, it's Women Rock Wednesday, man. Listen to me. I got a daughter. You probably got a kid. We got young women that's going out in this world about to do something big. I'm paving the way for them. Hey, Crystal, great seeing you last night. To ensure that this is what Kamala Harris been doing, to ensure with these black women, to ensure that the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act passes. Politico could cover that, but they ain't said nothing about that. Crystal, Latrice, they want to talk about she don't like AirPods. Let me tell y'all who she had in that joint. Let me tell y'all some of these women. Let me tell y'all about some of these women. Y'all need to Google some of these. Oh my God, I went Google crazy last night. Whoa, we got some powerful women out here. Melanie Campbell, convener of the Black Women's Roundtable and the president and CEO of NCBCP. Let me tell you what that means. What they call that? That's the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation. Melanie Campbell, look her up. Minion Moore, co-conveyor of Power Rising. Google these women. Google these women. Check this out. Dr. Barbara Williams Skinner, co-chair of the National African American Clergy Network. Cleola Brown, oh my God, Cleola Brown, national president of the A. Philip Randolph Institute. Bishop Leah Daughtery, co-conveyor of the Power Rising. Joy Cheney, executive director of Washington Bureau, senior vice president of policy and advocate for the National Urban League. Ebony Riley, senior vice president. I can go on and on and on and on. I got a list. I'll be all night. This is what this woman was doing. She was meeting with real power players. But Crystal Wicks, they didn't write an article about that. They wrote an article about she don't like to have Bluetooth. She liked the cord. It was a hit job, y'all. And I'm just trying to get y'all to understand when you read these news, looking at these news, these hit jobs that happens to our people. It happened to Lewis Hamilton the other day. You know I'm going to tell you about that one. Vice President Kamala Harris was engaging over issues of Black maternal health and the disparities of the maternal health rate of our women. Politico didn't talk about that. What's up, Terrence Fold? And I know a lot of people ain't gonna talk about that. Y'all, that's why I'm here. They want to create a negative story after negative story about this woman. I always said that she wasn't my first candidate. But when you know better, you do better. I wish she had been my first candidate. But I let disinformation swayed me. I know some of you might say, Robert, you're standing up for Kamala Harris because she's a Black woman. Yeah. Yes, I stand for Black women. This is true. I don't mind admitting that. Yes. But yesterday, Vice President Kamala Harris, was hosting the first ever White House Maternal Health Day of Action. They didn't do that in the Obama administration. That's been on the schedule at the White House for months. And Politico should have known that. But these are the types, I see you, Jimmy, these are the types of media tricks that they are engaged in to keep us not focused on what matters, but to create a whole lot of negative information. So when you go do a Google search on Vice President Kamala Harris, that type of bullcrap article will come up to the top. The Shitlytical article, yes, instead of Politico, Shitlytical article about Vice President is scared of Bluetooth. We have to be wise in this moment, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm sharing this with y'all. Because the media is not there to ensure righteousness is happening. Mainstream media is not here to ensure that the truth is being told. They are here for clicks. Outlets like Politico are among the worst of the clickbait crew. What's up, Jimmy? I'm bringing you in now, Doc. It's Women Rock Wednesday. You know I had to go there. You got to leave my girls alone. Can't mess with my women. Okay. Hey, Kamala Harris, good seeing you last night, Jimmy. Man, great. You know what, man? I should have left you alone. Cause you got up there trying to be conscious of the time, man. You had about 45 more seconds, man.
Wow.
Man, I started to throw a tomato at you. I had a tomato. I said, man, you did good. Now, don't get it twisted. But I'm sitting there timing you. You wasn't looking at me. I had the big clock on the timer, like we do on the show. You wasn't looking at me. I think you were nervous, boy. You were nervous on the hook. You were a little nervous. Like.
I just wasn't. I wasn't receptible to the sound system that the DJ used, and I'm gonna encourage Booker T. Washington to get them a PA like they do when we go to some of these schools like Houston Christian, and they have their stuff that goes,
Jimmy, it wasn't bad, Jimmy. It wasn't bad to me.
It
wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad. I heard every damn thing you said.
I couldn't tell though. That's what. So I couldn't.
Nobody gonna be cheering for you now.
I know what it was. I could think that when I'm listening to John Brady talk, and I'm on the opposite end of the court, so that speaker was from the DJ that was on that other end of the court, and
good point.
Everything
and I was right by the speaker. That
was one of those one man band type speakers where the highs, the lows, and the treble is coming through one speaker.
And Jimmy, you didn't have a monitor. If you had a monitor, you would have been good because you sounded good. I heard everything great. And I fell in love with the lady who said she talked tech. I fell in love with her. Said she taught him in school, man. That was cool, man. That was cool, huh?
She was a coach there, and it's sometimes. As we reflect back, because understand something, guys. Not every day, not every year, people have their jerseys retired, and it's especially in this era. Mm-hmm. The last guy we know especially in HISD. Yeah. Joseph Young.
Yeah, I was there too.
Greg Wise did it in similar fashion for Joseph Young a couple of years ago. And people, and you got to realize, man, because I talk to coaches at these schools, and you guys have no earthly idea how much pushback presents itself and presented itself, even when Joseph Young, when Greg Wise decided to retire Joseph Young, boy, all hell almost broke loose at Jack Yates High School. I'm dead serious. And understand, here's what I mean. Most urban historic schools that had based on sports that we know of, like a Jack Yates and a Wheatley and a Cashmere and a Booker T. Well, they have alumni bases that flock in circles. So let's say some alumni that graduated in the 70s, they may all still hang together because they may know each other in 4-year or 5-year or 3-year windows, because there was no 9th grade back then. Well, in the 80s, people that graduated in the 80s, I know from Cashmere, I know people that graduated from 83, 84, 85, 86, in some of the 87s, and maybe a little bit of the 88s. You know them because while you're in the middle, 3 years up, 3 years back. And you have some type of relationship with that group or that range of alumni base. Well, each base is going to be promoting somebody they know what they remember. They know what they love. And so people just say when Joseph Young, when Yates decided to honor Joseph Young a couple of years ago, well, some of the pushback was, well, hold on, how can you put Joseph Young in? Joseph Young didn't make the McDonald's game. Ricky Winslow did. Why is Ricky Winslow not in? Then some people say, well, hold on, how can Joseph Young go in? Michael Young not in. Well, how can Michael Young be in? Carvin Holcomb not in. And then how can Carvin Holcomb? And then it went on and on. How can either one of those guys get in and George Stretch Campbell or George Walker is not in? And it went on and on. So that means now you got all these fragments of alumni bases that are promoting one guy. And what happens? They end up canceling each other out, and misery love company. Okay, we cool. As long as your guy don't get in, my guy ain't got to get in, but don't that guy don't get in first. That's how it rolls. And that hinders a lot of coaches that comes into these schools from going and taking the action and moving up on nominating a guy to retire his jersey. Because know what they would say? Wait a minute. They get the feeling that, first of all, hey man, I ain't from this neighborhood. I'm not from this community. I'm trying to do something good. This is what many coaches ever think. And they'll say, well, hell, no, matter of fact, I'm not going to touch it. Why didn't the last coach do it? If y'all think guys should have been retired. All of that stuff flows through the conversation. And then people will say, well, and when it comes to Tag Minor, similar situations presented itself. And then some people may not realize what they say, and because once again, you got to establish ground rules. And sometimes people will say, well, it only matters what he did here. Well, then if it don't matter what he did there, and I've grown to learn how to, people don't really mean that. For example, if it don't matter what you did after basketball, then what if a guy go and rob 5 banks or go and sexual molest 17
You ain't
kids?
putting his ass in.
No, he's already up. You see what I'm saying? What you gonna do? You're gonna take his damn thing down.
You gotta take him down.
Or you're not gonna put him in. You see? So guess what? It does matter what you do afterwards, but you have to still establish ground rules. I'm just happy that Coach Grayson, see, the connection is Coach Grayson was on the bench as an assistant coach. Opposite Tag Minor, he was at Wall Trip. Right at the time.
That's right.
Then came on over to CAD. So he's from the area. He's fond of Tag.
Right.
Shout out to Coach Willie Patrick. Pokey was on that bench. Pokey was actually doing a lot of the coaching under Clarence Stubblefield at Booker T. Washington. You know how sometimes you're landing the plane.
Yeah, you're on your last day. Yeah.
You do all your coaching in practice. You let Pokey do his coaching during the game. Trying to, because I guess the goal was to showcase Pokey as a coach to get him a head job, which it worked, because shortly after Tag Minor, Pokey got named the head coach at St. Pius, and he won state.
Wow.
A lot of you guys may not realize that. Then he left St. Pius, went to Wheatley, and went to state. I think twice at Wheatley. So now he's assistant coach at Yates. But in that situation, it just made me reflect back on Tag Minor. I put something on Twitter, on social media a couple of hours ago to just reflect back. A lot of people, and we were sitting there, and Herb Baker
was talking to the little boy,
reminded me about some of the sub-varsity student athletes from visiting Clear Lake High School. And some of the JV or whatever, they sit there and they're watching the varsity and sitting there behind the bench. And while something was going on, Herb Baker says he had to let the little guys were talking amongst themselves. Kind of like kids doing church. Mischievous kids that don't know no better when the pastor may be saying some announcements going on, and you got to let them know, hey, let me give you some history. This guy that's out there they honoring, I know he ain't from Clear Lake, but you ain't gonna never be what he was in high school, because first of all, you play JV right now, and in his time.
And sure enough, telling him right.
I didn't mean tell him right. Sure enough, one of them little kids on the slick took his phone, put it on his hip, and Googled Tag Minor on his cell phone. They're gonna Google everything, them youngsters, and it that's a teachable moment, because those kids, now what they probably didn't know, that Tag Minor, understand something. A lot of guys can have stat lines, and that's why I reflected on. Do you realize that the game that Tag Minor played against Daniel Gibson, when in the very famous popular regular season game, it wasn't a playoff game, it was a regular season game. That means whoever lost that game got to live and come back and play another game. And This particular game was at Jones High School. Guys,
Small
the,
high school.
I mean, but all HISD schools were like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you look at some of these videos, Hannah,
Uh-huh.
if you watch some of these videos that these
Oh, they're not that big.
ain't none of them gyms bigger than Houston Christian.
Ain't that? Oh, they not that big.
I mean,
But
but
Jimmy,
that's
they ain't gonna never
the
feel
I
Jimmy.
think.
Them people, them kids are transient, so they ain't gonna never feel that stuff up all the time
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that means people thinking like, so if this basketball is so pop, it don't take much to pack in those little 500 seat gym or facilities they playing in. Don't take much. Hell, the media damn near pack all that stuff out. And so my thing is, back in those days, this game was so popular. Remember that it wasn't social media.
Right.
See, we got social media now.
Right.
If your ass didn't know about the game, you had to either listen to Ralph Cooper to find out. The Houston Chronicle wasn't guaranteed to put no article out before this game took place. No, it's still football playoffs going on. That's what they're primarily concerned about. And the Houston Rockets are in mid launch of their season or in the first half. This game was sold out by 5:30. People had to climb up on the roof of the building. I'm not talking about one guy or two guys that was just, from the hood and just didn't care about getting dirty, climb up. I say dozens of people. I don't know if they had a ladder upstairs or whatnot. I mean, outside or whatnot to get people up on the little thing and get them up on. They were on the roof. You had a window that was that brought light into the gymnasium at certain times of day, and you could see the people lined up outside of all those windows. The windows, I'm painting the visual for you guys. The windows expanded the length of the court. And that thing was filled with people and people behind those people peeking over them, looking down at the game. And and on the baselines, it was just caked with people. It was without question a fire hazard. I mean,
damn, y'all hold up. Y'all was some super spreaders in there that back then.
Man, we spread everything around that time. I mean, and hell, in one instance, because I'm saying that's South Side versus the North Side. And South Side versus the North Side in those days, back then, the alumni basis, it was more magnified, amplified than with the kids. Because a lot of these kids played together during grassroots. Back in the old days, the alumni, you stayed at your park, they stayed at my park. If we coming to your park, we coming in a pack. You know what I mean? That's how it was back. So the alumni basis, but it wasn't like you hated. Booker T. Washington Jones wasn't arch rivals. It was more of a North Side versus South Side in that game. Also, this was Tack Minor versus Daniel Gibson. Tack Minor was the Russell Westbrook. He was the guy everybody loved to hate while he was in high school. Daniel Gibson was a Steph Curry. I'm talking about the way he's received. Couldn't do no wrong. He was the poster child for everything. Did everything right, but at the same time, Daniel Gibson came from right off Reed Road. He's from the hood, but Daniel Gibson grew up in the Fundy Recreation Center, which validated him through James Clayton and the Houstonian basketball program. And this game was awesome, competitive all the way through. Tack was the 12th grader. Daniel was the 11th grader. Tack finished with 72 points, 22 rebounds, 11 assists. The final score was 122 to 120. I think some people say 122 to 118. 2 points, 4 points, And Daniel Gibson had 48 points, fouled out in the closing. I think either at the end of regulation or at the end of the first overtime. One of the two when Daniel fouled out. As we get older in this, I get my mind. I had videos of that game, and one of the floods destroyed that was one of my prized collector's items, was that video. Because that gym, it was just magic in there. And Tack Minor going after the ball, it was spirited too. Very spirited. Spirited in there. At one point, Hatter, Tag went for a loose ball on the opposite baseline. You know, you go to think about it. There's no
Room.
wall. If you run your ass out of bounds, what you running into? It probably
Some
better. You
people.
running into a cushion.
People.
People.
Yeah.
But if you're running into either you running into your people or the other team's people, depending on what baseline you run out of bounds on. This is dead serious. So in this sequence, Tag might have gone for a loose ball, and he slides into the Jones baseline. Guess what happens? As Tag Minor comes up, somebody spit on him.
No.
Somebody spit on him. Somebody spit on him. And so now you got a little skirmish because now Tag, you don't know who it is. Somebody spit on him. I mean, and so they clean it up as far as the, but it was a great game. And that was Daniel Gibson had 48. He had 48 that game. 48 is right at 50. And but my thing was some things that like I could have just, I think now is a better platform. This our platform to take up the moment last night and going and giving a Tag Minor story. It was no way to give a Tag Minor story in 2 minutes or a minute and a half, Hatter.
No, you did right. I'm good. You
So
good.
some of you guys can understand what it takes to be great. And I hear stories all the time about young men who, man, if folks ain't got nuts, man, they from the hood. They ain't got no way to hear. They ain't got no way to practice. They ain't got no way this. They ain't got this. I hear all that stuff, and that's why you guys may understand. If you're paying attention to me over the years, I don't grow sympathetic to that because I've seen what the bottom looked like and creating a superstar. I'm saying not me creating it, but him merging from the mud. I've seen what the mud looked like. For example, I can say it now, and I'm quite sure Tag Minor, because both his parents, Margaret and TC, have passed away in recent years. But their house on East 43rd Street, right around the corner from Booker T. Washington. When I met Tag Minor in the 9th grade, he was in the 9th grade. All the way until the time that they moved out of that house. I'll tell you something. And imagine how you think about it. 7 people lived in that house. 7. That house, not one time did that house have gas in it. And 7, during the time that he lived in that house. From the 9th grade on, they did not have gas. Can you imagine living through the winter months? No gas. That means every piece of heat coming through that house is an electric heater that could be a fire hazard. One restroom, 7 people. Air conditioner go out during the heat, and that means the air conditioner got to be on full blast most of the summer times in the spring months. You're talking about getting it out the mud. Oh, I ain't done. Guess what? Now, ask me how many cars they had. The mom and the dad.
How many cars they have?
0. The TC Minor woke up every morning and caught the city bus to work. I don't even know if TC Minor really knew how to drive anymore. For 30 years, he went to work downtown and caught the city bus. He would come back home and get off that bus, whatever time he got off, walk a half a block, stop at the old tree down there. I knew where to find him if I'm over on that side of town during the evening hours, and drink him 2 or 3 cold beers, and then walk on down the street to the house. He caught the bus every day. Margaret Minor didn't know how to drive at all. They had an old yellow Nova in the driveway. That thing never ran. From the time it probably had stopped running before I even met her. In the hood, you can always keep that old car, the last car that ran. You keep it there like you're going to fix it tomorrow, but it always just stays there. Trust me, you guys know you got kinfolk like that right now. They got cars in the yard that stalled and they ain't worked on it at all. They had no car, the parents. Now, of course, the siblings had a vehicle, but the mom and the dad had no transportation. So that means technically, Tag Minor, no transportation. You had to grow up in this. I'm not talking about 2 months, 1 month. I'm not talking about 2 weeks. I'm talking about at least a 5-year window.
And Jimmy, what's sad is a lot of our people have grew up in those kind of situations before. In Memphis, all over the world. I mean, a lot of our people have grew up in those same kind of conditions, and that's really that's an indictment of this country. Because what you saying, no one should grow up, no one should have to grow up like that. No one should have to grow up without gas. No one should have to grow up like that. So it's a indictment. Like I say, it's a lot of people I've heard this story and seen this story all over the world. Excuse me, all over the United States. I haven't seen it all over the world. You know, I go to Brazil, Jimmy. I'll never forget this. I go to Brazil. There were palaces and mansions on one side of the street, and right on the opposite side, directly across the street, not around the corner, is the projects. Mansions on this side of the street, and projects on this side. So people have grew up in this, and it's just a testament to this young man who fought and got his way out of that situation. You said something last night, and you never had to go get him out of jail. You never have to be in handcuffs. That's the words you said. Mm-hmm. First of all, that's an indictment for this country, but a testament to the young people. That's a testament, and I hope people who are not black are watching this and understand these are the things we had to go through. These are the things some people had to go through. Some of you people ain't never seen a pink light bill. You feel me? You know, some people, you know, some people ain't never had this stuff evicted before. So it's like I say, it's a testament that how we be able to rise out of the ashes like a phoenix. And to now Jimmy, you say a homeowner, a father. Man, hey, that's a success story. And guess what? Thank you, Coach Grayson, to your wife, to your administration over there, to Andre and Walker. Man, let me tell y'all something, man. That was a great event. And I was just proud. Man, I saw how crowded it was. I never went up to it. I said, man, I was just delighted to be there. And shout out to the police officer. I don't know his name. I should have got his name. Because when I got there, the doors were locked.
Oh, they stopped letting people in?
Yeah, they stopped letting people in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they stopped letting people in. And when I got there and he came and I said, man, I don't mean no harm, man. I got to be at this halftime ceremony. I said, I got to. He said, man, do me a favor. Come on in. Escorted me on in. Shout out to him, man. I wish I had got his name. Shout out to him. But thank you so much, man. A great event. Coach Grayson, the staff, the lady, I think Miss Johnson, she said, Coach Johnson. Shout out to those people. And Jimmy, y'all did a great job, man, of honoring a young man, like you said, has got it out the mud. And I like to take it a little higher. He came out of the ashes like the phoenix. The phoenix, this bird that lives down in the volcano, in the heat. And then he comes out of the ashes and comes out of there and shed all of that and become this beautiful bird. So shout out to TAC, man. Now this the thing about this basketball community. There's a lot of things I don't like. But dude, these are the things that we can, like Herb educated those young boys. And then later on, the little boys didn't take it bad because we asked them some questions after that. We was asking them about, and the little boys didn't take it. You know, most of these little smart ass kids, you try to tell them something, they get mad. These little boys were very manable. And because I was asking questions, who is this guy on the bench? Who is this guy? And they would let me. You know how I am, Jimmy. I said, who the best one on the JV? Oh, he gone. I said, he gone. I said, he done left already. I said, who the best defender? He said, I am. I mean, so it was a great, the Clear Lake kids, shout out to them. I wish I had got their names, but shout out to them, man. I had a great time. I had a great
Yeah,
time.
man. I
Yeah.
I I also,
Mhm,
I look and I give credit, of course, Tech Minor.
mhm.
Uh, in case you guys don't know, yes, yes, Tech Minor. He he didn't make the pro because of basketball. He didn't make, I'm talking about the NBA. That is, he played professionally basketball overseas. He didn't make the NBA because of when they do those they do different intelligence checks on different players. They comprise intel, and some players have a bigger risk versus reward for them in for the professional teams to choose to take a risk on you or make an investment in you. And so Tack Minor had something in his jacket, ink, virtual ink in his jacket that stemmed from USA basketball, from what's the guy name that ran the big tournament in North Carolina at all the
Bob
different
Gibbons.
colleges? Bob Gibbons.
Mhm.
He was the premier foremost authority of scouting services of individuals in the United States at that time was Bob Gibbons. Bob Gibbons had that much power. And so the powers that be, and then on top of that, when Tack was in college, him and Rudy Gay and a couple of other cats was working the All-American camp at Nike in Indiana, and they had some chicks. A chick came in the room and
Jimmy, you airing out too much damn ass. Jimmy, I don't like
but,
all. Don't
but,
be
but
telling.
those guys are grown now. I mean, and they were
Yeah,
kids. I
man,
mean,
come
nobody
on, come on.
understand how I
I,
ended out
no,
because
no,
understand.
I just don't
No,
want to hear it.
no, because guess what? Guess what? Reason I went and I'm talking about that because there was no crime committed.
I understand.
There
I
was no
understand.
crime committed.
I
So
just
it
don't.
may sound like I'm going somewhere with this. There was no crime committed.
Okay.
A girl came in the room, and a young man did what some young basketball players do when groupies come to the room. And guess what? Nobody got pregnant, but some allegedly, I don't know if nothing happened. But guess what? Cat got the case. I mean
Like,
the
oh,
he got the case for it.
so Tack got the Rasheed Suleiman treatment.
Yes, he got the case. And so
Okafoot snuck the girl in the room, but
yes, like
Rasheed was the fall guy. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, keep going.
all like the Houston Rockets in the bubble, and I don't want to go there.
Oh, let's not go there. But you know what's so unique though? You just made me think about something about Tack, and I was just thinking about him. He was on my what's the team? Pro-Am team, and everybody used to be mad. Man, why you get Tack? Man, coach, that's who I want on my damn team. Man, no, had
Who was mad? What player was mad? What player? We can talk about it now.
I don't remember them. I don't remember because
You remember somebody? Was it a pro? Was it a pro?
No, it was a ham. Wasn't no pro was mad. It was the hams. It was a ham.
Oh, they ain't got no business being mad.
I said, hold up, man. That's my dude. I don't care what. Hey, Tack, do your thing, baby. But it was so unique, man, Jimmy. But I just had to tell this. I remember it like it was yesterday. That's who I wanted to be my guard. And I couldn't help it. I didn't even know, Jimmy, that you used to. So that's the only thing we had in common. That me and you, you coached him as a kid. I coached him when he was grown. So, but you asked me a question. What do I tell when a kid, you got a special kid like Tack on your team that got the ability to score and do whatever hell he want? What do you tell the other team? How do you keep the team? You know what I told them?
The ones that whispering and trying to
this my
be pissed
team.
off.
It's my team. You don't like it? Go take your uniform off and give to the lady out in the back. Jimmy, I never forget my coach because I used to try to shoot the ball a little too damn much in high school. And the coach, they used to complain. And the coach asked a simple question. Did he miss some? They said, yeah, he missed all the time. He said, consider every one of his misses a pass to your ass and go get the damn rebound. So that's how I was brought up. So when somebody telling me about a guard scoring the ball and shooting the ball, dude, did he miss any? Yeah, coach. Well, go get the damn rebound, and that's a pass. He the pass it to you. Go get the damn rebound. Quit all that whining. So, hey, I just, man, it's just a great, like I said, great day, man. Jimmy, proud of you, proud that you helped this young man in his life. And I saw, and y'all, it's gonna be documented because y'all be able to see it because Mo Elrod from high school hopefuls, he and the grind, a basketball machine, he was following Tack around. God damn it, I thought Tack last name was Obama. The way, goddamn, he was following, the way he was following Tack around last night. I said, boy, I think Tack went to the restroom. I don't know if he went in, but his ass was right in the restroom. Mo was in the restroom. So shout out to everybody in who had a part of that event last night. I think it was absolutely great. What else you got, Jim?
Yeah. So it's a good thing, man. It's a blast to the past, and now
it was good.
we are. I know that Jack Yates soon they will be inducting 7 people in their first installment, and they will officially be. This will be their official. Like and we learned yesterday, of course, with Coach Grayson. If you missed this conversation on the Chop Shop, Coach Grayson is the head boys basketball coach at Booker T. Washington High School. His starting point guard is the son of the namesake of the athletic director, the sitting athletic director at Houston Independent School District, Andre Walker. So Grayson informed us that, and you guys as well who heard him or paid attention to him, that recently HISD established where technically no player can they're not going to retire any jersey per the district office, but by it being site-based management, once again, HISD is site-based management.
Jimmy, can you explain site-based management to some people who don't? In other words, whatever happens, you got jurisdictions over your school. The principal,
you're the HPD of your school,
okay,
and the district is the federal government.
Okay, all right.
You see,
okay.
So you have the authority to enforce your own rules as per when it comes to your budgetary allotment and whatnot. You're in charge of your money for your school primarily.
Okay.
Now the district office athletic department will allot each sport like a pair, one uniform like every 3 years, something like that, and it goes in rotation. That's why a lot of times you get one new uniform. I want to say every 3 years. You guys, and as Walter Yates thinks, the principal has 100% power, but every principal got things to do. They're not trying to take up on the task of being in charge of making every damn decision when sometimes athletic department is right there. That's why a lot of principals defer those decisions. You got site-based management, and you can say, hey, let it department, y'all can handle that. That's why a lot of times you have, and then sometimes you have the rare situation, like about maybe 10, 12 years ago, Jack Yates High School, their principal was in full force of site-based management. Their principles, like, and I'll give you an example. There was a time when during the time back in the days, they had what they called the JCs tournament. The JCs was the Junior Achievers of Youth Chamber of Commerce of Excellence of Education. Something like the top of my head. I almost got it right. If I didn't get it right, it was close. Well, the Houston JCs, and I ended up working with them back during that time, and Yates going into that 2009 season, or 2009 season or 2010, whatever it was, they were making enough noise, and Nike invited them to Hawaii, right? And also they would go play in Alabama on another nationally televised game that was going to run on the year that they ran that undefeated national championship run. Well, For them to go to Hawaii mean, Halle, that they was going to have to miss the HISD, the JC's tournament. That had never happened to no school in the history of the tournament. So when they realized that the HISD tournament wasn't mandatory, if it's site-based management, the principal can allocate and authorize his team to go wherever the hell he let them go. That's kind of like what happened. And it never been done. So people was like, Yates was like, his principal was like, no. This team got a chance to be special. We got a chance to make Yates a national known name, Jack Yates basketball, this next year. And I happen to be a basketball fan. I think the principal has passed away since then. I think his name was Ronald Munfrey. Ronald Munfrey. Might be an S at the end of the name. And guess what they did? They didn't play in the JC tournament. And so know what other HISD teams did? They was like, it took note. They was like, wait a minute. So y'all was gonna let Yates do what they want to do? And it was like, man, we can't make them play. What do you mean? All these years we've been playing, you mean tell me nobody never checked the rules? Then go to find out later on, nobody also never checked the rules or the books to realize what the hell, that tournament was bleeding money because they had a girls tournament that wasn't really called the JCs that happened the week before, Halle, because of Title IX. Whatever you do for boys in high school sports, you must provide for girls, unless it's football, of course. Well, the girls, the referees, guys, I don't think you understand what referees cost for a high school game. The referees cost probably around, because they get charged like mileage and stuff. But on the average, I'm going to give you an average. A set of 3 referees for a high school game is probably, let's say, on the average, on the low end, $100 a piece. That's for one game. So I mean, how many fans does it take in each one of those games to break even just for the referees? Not counting the scorekeeper, not counting the police, not counting all the staff members that are there, not counting the medical trainer. Those tournaments cost money. So anyway, getting back to the HISD and site-based management, that's how that thing worked. And that's what happened with Yates. And a couple of years later, they ended up disbanding that whole tournament. There is no more. They took the name JCs out. I forgot to tell you about the JCs. What they were actually, their name had been on that tournament, Halle, for over 30 years. Almost 25 years for sure. You know how much money HISD was getting from the JCs every year for having what they call it nowadays? They call it title naming rights. They were getting $1,500 from the Houston JCs. $1,500 is what HISD was getting from the JCs each year. And think how much exposure the JCs got. Now, what the JCs did?
You're talking about them 20, 40 years later. You're talking about them right now. So
dude,
yeah.
No, they did. They provided the coaches social a happy hour for the participating coaches each year. You come to one of the restaurants, might have been Landry's or something, and you get to eat some happy hour hors d'oeuvres.
That Good Old Boy Network is. Hey Jimmy, that's just showing the Good Old Boy Network was real good. The Good Old Boy, that's all that is. The Good Old Boy Network was real good. Yeah, man. Just give me $1,500, man, and give us a couple of bologna sandwiches for the social, and get us a couple of drinks. We good. That's how it was. I mean, but Jimmy, some guy, Ray asked a question. What do you guys think about the UIL rule? I put it on the screen. He said, what do you guys think about the UIL rule on transferring schools? I'm seeing some kids in areas that get to transfer without penalties and others not having the same privilege to move about.
Okay, that's simple. I mean, First of all, in order to receive this answer, Ray, you have to take a deep breath and be willing, like at church, you got to be willing to receive this. So that way, otherwise you'll be frustrated and you're not going to receive it properly. The rule is simple. Did you transfer for for athletic purposes? That's first and foremost. That's like being, did you transfer for athletic purposes? So some people you may see when they transfer from the school, your previous coach is a form of called a PAPF, a previous athletic participation form, PAPF. That form, it has a list of boxes to check. One of the most important things on that form when it comes to eligibility in the transfer process is they will ask that coach, do you think that he slash she transferred or transferring for athletic purposes? And their response on that is what initiates everything that come behind it.
Okay.
So a lot of times when people get ready to leave from certain teams, guess what? You think Halle and I, we might be first team all petty, but some of these high school coaches out there, they might.
Jimmy, you first team all pet. Don't be putting me in there with you. Hell no, I'm not receiving that.
You all
Come
state.
on.
You all state. You all state. You all state. But some of these high school coaches are understand something. So the way that you leave, if you can take out the time to make a calculated effort for your departure, then you're probably not gonna have no problem. You probably won't. And guess what? Calculate it. What do I mean by that? Well, don't get on social media bashing that coach on your way out the door. Because that means that coach is probably going to push back. Or let me tell y'all something. A lot of most high school coaches, they have wives at home. And I'm going to tell you something. Them wives be on social media and they see y'all they see some attacking going on with their spouse, with the patriarch of their household. Some of those parents, don't mean the wives know how to clap back. Them wives say, oh, hell no. Watch. I'll be damned, he go over there and play. And y'all don't realize how them emails may come from Jane Doe, that's coach wife, or coach daughter, or coach mama. I'm just telling you, I've seen it. So how you go out the door matters, because they have that much power. Yes, they do, to dictate or to hinder your future eligibility, your immediate eligibility when you transfer. That's the thing. And guess what? Depending on how good you are, if you're not that good, nobody's paying attention. There are guys now that transfer, they live in the same house. Nobody ain't paying attention to some of them guys. Let me tell you like this. Andre Walker.
Jimmy, there you go. Jimmy, quit calling people names out.
I'm just saying.
Got in trouble. The lady say we full of, she said we full of stuff on this show. I want to tell her, Jimmy full of stuff. Man, you be getting me in trouble, man. I'm just telling you. You be getting me in fat foot trouble. But come on with it. Come on, Cletus.
What I was just saying, all I was gonna say is that I was just gonna stop and stop and not going down the dead end. I was gonna say Andre Walker, if he was 6'9", that's all I'm saying.
They would be, absolutely.
If he was 6'9", what you think? You would have noticed that he transferred from one school to the next and then playing and starting on varsity Booker T. And let me tell you something. And if you read the VIP news today, and I updated this morning, it's a lot of stuff in the VIP.
Jimmy, hold up. Jimmy, we going all this time. We done went an hour and a half. Jimmy, that young fella McDermott, I got to talk about McDermott, right?
That's why you see what I'm getting into. I'm getting a lot of stuff in the VIP news today.
Oh my goodness.
Including, understand something. And I'm glad Paul Moran on here today from DFW. We love our DFW brothers and sisters. And here's the thing. You remember last summer during the pandemic when when DFW, had already proclaimed they had the momentum. The Duncanville had won state again. And that year, that summer, that was 4 state champions because the state tournament got canceled. Well, and then they had a tournament in Dallas. How do you remember that tournament? And it was like all of the top grassroots, most of the top grassroots programs went to Dallas and played
When?
in a
Recently?
tournament.
When?
No, that was not this summer. That was summer before last
Okay.
summer.
Okay.
And you remember what happened in that tournament? And I said before that tournament took place, I told everybody we're going to see, because at that time, remember Clyde Jackson had the young team with Wesley Yates. They were in the 9th grade at the time, and then they had the guys up under them, which were Chris McDermott. Them class were in the 8th grade at the time.
Mm.
Well, all of those teams, we had about 2 teams from Houston.
And went up there and whooped a whole lot of behind up there.
And went up there and came in 1st and 2nd in the 9th grade.
Yeah, I remember that.
Came in 1st and 2nd in the 8th grade.
Uh-huh.
And I told you guys, I said, well, y'all DFW, y'all kicking ass now. Y'all got it. You got it. It's peaks and valleys. But Houston,
You said that.
coming. We return it to ETH. That class is gonna be ass kicking time for those guys coming on through.
Okay.
And I'm looking at, remember I told you guys there's a quartet, right? And that's 4, right? And those 4 sophomores, right, who are doing work. We told you Zion Pipkin, he transferred from the Woodlands Christian. He's at Westfield High School. Westfield High School just lost their first game of the season last night. They were 12. They were like what, 10, 11, 12 and 0 until last night. Won the Katy tournament last week. This young man is leading that team in scoring as a sophomore, Zion. See, you gotta wait till the timing right. That's why I like to wait till you get enough under your belt. That way now you can't dispute that. Jaquil Registi from Episcopal High School. Jaquil, you saw him. I think you missed him at the season opener. He's pretty good.
I didn't miss Shaquille. He played.
Oh, that's
no,
right. You saw.
you know
Okay,
what,
you saw.
Jimmy? I'm gonna show you. He played with Kristen Begg's son. Kristen Begg's son is one of my favorite guards. Him and Money
Okay.
Mike, they're my favorite
Yeah,
guards.
yeah,
Yeah.
you saw him.
Yeah.
Another one. This kid, understand, he's leading the state of Texas in block shots, Paul Miranda. Of all grades, he's the leading shot blocker in the state of Texas right now. That's a skill set that transfers over to the next level. And that's
Wait a
Robert
minute.
Miller.
Jaquil is
No,
leading.
Robert Miller.
Oh,
at Pasadena,
Robert
North.
Miller. Oh my goodness.
He's leading the state in blocked shots. Remember this. Bookmark that. I told you it's a quartet.
Good one.
I say it again. Zion Pipkin,
Yeah.
Jaquil
Okay.
Registi,
Uh-huh.
Robert Miller III,
Uh-huh.
and the 4th one, last but damn sure not least. And he could very well be number 1 player. We update these rankings. This kid last night, I had to wait and see it. He opened up at the season opener with a monster game, 30-16 at the season opener. In his varsity, well, not his varsity, but the season debut. That was varsity. He couldn't play varsity last year. He had to sit out after transferring from Reagan from the Heights. This is varsity debut at Booker T. Washington.
Mm-hmm.
30-16.
Mm-hmm.
And a win over Episcopal, which featured a bona fide a 5-star prospect opposite him.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, this young man had 29 points and 28 rebounds.
And missed the layup. This should have been a dunk.
His more legs had wore out at the time. Yeah, he missed the leg. Yeah, on that fast break. He caught that thing. He tried to get too smooth with it.
Yeah, he tried to be smooth with it. Yeah.
That's the layup that you kind of spin with your hand like that instead of just letting it go out the fingertip. He kind of spit it, and the ball wasn't favoring.
And Jimmy, he didn't come near Grayson. Oh, he went way on the other end. He didn't come near Grayson after that. The coaches was trying to bet. He didn't come nowhere near the coaches, but keep going. Keep going.
Dude, let me tell you something. See, a lot of times we get caught in the situations where we look at kids and we saw them, we may have seen them in the grassroots circuit, and our last memory is what lingers in our minds about certain kids. And that can be to a fault. And understand something. Whatever you saw from these guys back then, that's a whole different team, a whole different season, a whole different way they playing. At their high schools right now, there's no sophomore in the state of Texas that's doing it. Hell, I'm just going to go out on the ledge and invite you to tell me a sophomore in the United States of America that's been put up 29 points and 28 rebounds this year.
Who is this dude, Trey Johnson, that Paul Miranda talking about?
That's a kid up north in DFW. I think Trey isn't he gonna be in Houston this weekend?
I don't know. Paul Miranda mentioned him early, and I wanted to make sure because you were talking, you probably didn't see it.
Yeah, understand. That quartet, that's what I'm saying. Remember, we got our ticket, our running ticket.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's the president, the vice president, the give me two more.
Who else? And the cabinet members. But keep going.
That's the ticket for Houston 2024 right now. Guess what? Remember I said you can easily make 5 or 6, but I like 4. Because you make 5, you're gonna need to make 6. You make 6, you're gonna need to make 7.
But I thought it was 3. It used to be 3.
No.
Okay, Trey Johnson is up here this weekend. Jimmy, who he play for?
I just told you, I think Trey gonna be in town this weekend.
Who he play for though?
He's gonna be playing in
Teddy's event.
Teddy event, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Teddy event.
But what school does he play for? We trying to figure it out on the schedule. That's all. Paul Miranda, what school he play for?
What school is?
Don't worry about it, Jimmy. Paul Miranda gonna put it on.
I don't want to say the wrong team. One of the teams is gonna be.
Lake Highlands. Is it Lake Highlands? Lake Highlands. I mean,
Lake Highlands will be in Houston.
Okay, I guess that's it.
Understand something. Understand something. Once again,
okay,
this ain't about who the best individual. This is about a ticket that I'm telling you that if anybody in DFW is there, they're not putting up these type of numbers right now here.
Right.
First of all, if we have a kid that's leading the state in block shots, then whatever your best big man is in DFW, he can't be defending like this guy's defending the rim.
Right.
Robert Miller.
Right.
Your best big guy in DFW. And let me give you the averages.
Yeah.
For McDermott. Before last night.
Okay.
He was averaging 22 and 15. And Booker T ain't lost but one game all season. Booker T. Washington has emerged and moved into the front as my pick to, and I've said it several times, but now people realize I ain't joking. I said this a month ago. Booker T. Washington can go to state. They're in 4A. Remember, they're not in 5A. They're in 4A. They could go to state. Because know why? Because Silsbee lost both of their 2 tallest players. Both of their big men is out for the year at Silsbee. Now, Silsbee still tough as nails. They don't get it twisted. Jared Harris and Draylon Miller and the rest of those kids. Guess what? They tough. But I'm saying Booker T. Washington has the best the best big guys in the region. 4A is normally, if you're 6'3", you might well be 6'6". But they have a 6'6" and a 6'7". 6'6.5", 6'7.5". And that 6'6.5" is averaging. Hold on, that's not Kenneth Lewis. Kenneth Lewis ain't chopped liver, as John Urie would say. No, Kenneth Lewis was average going into last night's game. 28.6 a game, 5.6 rebounds a game. Last night he had 27 points. He right at his average. And guess what, Hatter? What you had heard about him? He didn't do a lot of leaking last night because Clear Lake wasn't letting that happen.
I'm glad that Andre Branch said it first. Branch, he said, and I think that's who you're talking about, Jimmy.
That's Kenna Lewis. That's Kenna Lewis. If you get
Jimmy, I said the same exact thing. Cause you had me going there watching it, and he a little too emotional. I love his game, I love his length, but he was just trying little stuff, and he's young. But he playing varsity. I don't call it young no more, Jimmy. When you're on the varsity team, but I like him. I like, you know what? I like what he can be, but he just got to be focused. Thank you, Andre Branch. I said the same thing last night. I was looking at it. I mean, he did a couple of things great. Then he did a couple of things, not so great. But keep going, Jimmy. I just wanted to share.
I mean, and the thing that even like of course, Kenna Lewis, he has understand he's in 11th grade.
So he's in 11th grade.
Yes, both of these young men come back next year.
Oh, okay.
Booker T. Washington, Chris McDermott come back for 2 more years after this year.
Yeah,
but
if nobody won't try to steal him, we got
his dad. His dad works at the school.
Oh, but Jimmy, we still got to put our heads around him.
See, is already
okay.
The dad got a pay raise.
Okay, Jimmy, that's the what we don't want to.
That's legal. That's legal.
No, I'm talking about what if one of these out of town teams, like they be coming here trying to poach, they go in there poaching.
The dad was working now. The dad was working at Booker T. Washington when the kid went to the Heights.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
You get this?
Yeah.
The dad was working at Booker T. Washington for a couple of years now since they built that brand new building. The dad didn't just start working at Booker T. Washington. The dad was working at Booker T. Washington when that kid was at Key Middle School. When we had the middle school city championships, Key was supposed to play.
Man, let me tell you something.
And that's when I met this young man, Chris McDermott. They would say he's the next ticket and he's a kid. And they said that we're not gonna let him leave HISD.
You know what he said that back then. I told Herb last night. You know who he reminded me of when he kept running. He reminded me of Elvin Campbell. That's who he reminded me of.
Say, man, I like Chris McDermott, man.
Oh,
you know what I like about? Let me tell you what I like about big man. I have a thing that I was taught. I don't know which one of the coaches back when in evaluating. We get certain things from certain people. And one of the things I learned is when you evaluating big guys, you try to incorporate how often they fall to the floor.
Oh, well, he don't fall.
This one right here remind me of them old toys back on Saturday mornings. An old commercial that say Weebles may wobble, but they don't fall down. That's this dude, Chris McDermott. He don't hardly hit the floor at all.
He don't.
That's as a 10th grader, because big guys will go ahead on and follow their weight. They'll go on and lay it down, get back up.
But Jimmy,
every time you lay down,
Jimmy, he got nice leg. He got a nice base.
He's nimble.
Yes.
And he has good hands. He can catch that thing. You can slide your ass in front of him.
He can catch it.
He's going to slide out the way. He got control of his body. As a 10th grader, dude, this dude here.
I like him. I like the team, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I know what happens. And here's what happens. Let me tell you something. There are going to be some people because he played summer ball with Team Fox. Then he switched over to the Houston Hoops toward the latter part to go with them to Peace Jam, to get ready in July for the live period.
Uh-huh.
Well, I went to watch them play in Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris McDermott was a reserve, a deep reserve. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is, here's where the trap come in. You parents, if you're watching and you on that team, and in your mind, you may say, man, he wasn't that good for us. He ain't that good. Guess what? That was then, this is now. He might not have been that good then. Damn. I don't give a damn. This dude here is one of the best dudes I've seen the country. I'm flying out tomorrow to see Oak Hill, to see Duncanville, to see Montverde, and all them guys in Phoenix tomorrow. And I'll be in Salt Lake the weekend. I've seen the country. Just because I don't go and advertise with you guys all the time on social media where I'm at, I'm there. Hella knows that.
Yeah.
So trust me, right now, how you navigate through this, when a player from the city, same thing for Robert Miller. Oh man, he played with TJ Ford. He ain't that good. I don't give a damn how good he wasn't yesteryear
Right.
or yestermonth.
Right.
Right now, he's doing what ain't no sophomore ever done. He averaging 10 blocks a game
Hello.
at a public school.
And Jimmy, and blocks them good. Jimmy, he blocks them and keep them in play. He doing some of that Bill Russell stuff, man. You know what I love about him? His effort to block. Jimmy, a lot of guys probably could do it, but they don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it.
This dude said, come in here, I'm throwing that mess down the street. I love it. Like you said, I didn't see him in the summer. I didn't see nothing in the summer, so I don't know what he did in the summer. But from what I saw, I said, what the hell? Yeah, I love it. I mean, I like this group of kids, man. I'm serious. I don't get too much excited, but I'm liking these kids. And Jimmy,
you guys remember
now, Jimmy, you finna go nationally, right? Y'all, I'm gonna show you what Jimmy's saying. Jimmy's about to embark on a national trip in the next few weeks. This week and the next week, right? Mm-hmm. So guess what? He gonna be meeting up with those national people.
Absolutely.
So he got these 4 guys he got to push through. Listen, we got to get them through first, all the rest of you people. So everybody just get on board and you just hold it.
All you gotta do is follow me.
Just follow it.
All you gotta do is follow it. Guess what? If you think you can do it better by getting these people's names out there and you want to know how to do it, trust me. For years, I've been pushing names out here around the country. What I haven't been doing, I haven't been doing it lately. So I'm confessed to that. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they have so many other people in the city that's covering the area. I say, let me see if some of these Negroes is just got enough stroke.
They can't do it,
claiming that they got. Let me see. So then everybody calling me now, Hicks, man, we need you to help. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you say this guy had clout. I thought you say they was.
Jimmy, you know them dudes that have no clout. But you knew they did.
Just because a person come to your event.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times these same people been to my event? I started this shit. Y'all forgot about that. Just because I'm a little cocky. Just because I'm a little cocky.
Jimmy, we verified now on YouTube. So you had to watch it, but keep going. Because you know I got to sign off on it. Come on.
I'm going to put a whole bunch of E's in there.
Yeah. Come on.
Like a boy down in New Orleans. and we'll get the Angel question in just a second.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I haven't been vigorously promoting the blocks like I used to of the Houston players. Honestly, I haven't.
Okay.
And I'll give you I'm telling you the honest guard, but man, that ain't right. I give them to the college coaches. And so I don't, but now since I've been called upon to help because the guy in the cries from the community, from the basketball brotherhood, all of a sudden, hey man, Dallas, they stay together. Well, guess what? Because Dallas has an uncanny way of identifying their block. And then they push their block through. Then once that block get in, by the time they get their block in, our kids from that same grade, it's a whole year behind before we can get one in. Get your block in.
Y'all better listen.
I'm telling you how to do this. So that means when I tell you these 4 guys, I don't give a damn what order you put them in. You don't dispute the 4.
There you go.
Run with the 4. Run with the ticket. It's like a ticket. You ever had a voter's ticket? They say vote all Republican or vote all Democrat.
They call it straight, Jimmy. They call it straight ballot.
Yeah, it's some of them
But
people on there you might can't stand, but you know what? The hell, I'm gonna go and do this.
Gotcha.
You see,
Gotcha.
that's
the
what I'm
greatest.
saying to you.
Right.
This ticket right here is the ticket. You know why? Because the ticket, it ain't for midgets.
Right.
That's the key.
That's it.
We got size with that ticket.
Yes.
Robert Miller is 6'9".
Yes.
Chris McDermott is 6'7.5". You can call
Yeah.
him 6'8" if you want to.
Yeah.
Jaquil is a 6'5" wing.
Yeah.
He can. We don't know what his body gonna be able to do and what he's gonna be able to do the next year. He's whatever you want to call. And Zion is 6'6'1", and he's a scoring machine for the most part. Didn't get a whole lot done against Atascocita last night. That's a whole different story. But he was overdue. Atascocita, that's like getting shot by Jesse James. Yeah, that's a good bullet. But I'm gonna tell you guys, understand, that's the foursome. Just like now, see the class of 2023,
Mhm.
they only have one summer left.
Mhm.
That's the Wesley Yates, Chris Johnson,
Mhm.
Jacob Cole,
Mhm.
Jalen Lowe. That's our quartet. Now, of
Right.
course, Teddy, we don't want to put another guy, but right now, those guys
Yeah.
have more miles.
Yeah. You doing it. You doing it right. He just brought up another name that I need to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't wait
And-
to see
and-
this
but-
kid.
But
Yeah.
but that's our four. Here's the deal though.
Yeah.
The time is running out for, let's say, like all those other three.
Mhm.
Either they've been to USA basketball or they
Gotcha.
nationally ranked in the top 50.
That's a good point. Good point.
Jalen Lowe not. So Jalen Lowe, his time, his clock for him to run that around that track and possibly be a McDonald's All-American, he got to do a bunch of winning. And that's what Thurgood Marsh is, one of only 3 undefeated schools in Greater Houston right now. I don't know if you're paying attention to that. They undefeated. Ain't lost a game. And he's leading the charge of that. But that's a local level. The national guys are gonna know what they're gonna say. How many 5 stars did he play against in
That's
Spain?
ticket. That's what Paul Moran
That's
is
what they
saying.
say.
Yeah.
That's what Paul said. Okay,
Paul,
good
Paul,
thought.
Paul just always talk about Dallas, but that's what he's saying. He said how they gonna stack up against Dallas, and I got an answer for you, Paul. The same way PJ Haggerty sent stacked up against Dallas. That's how they gonna do. But carry on,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
and that's the thing. And so, like I say, in the block, if we can agree to identify the block of 4, I'm almost guaranteeing you that we'll have 3 of those 4 on every initial national list that comes out when they come out in the 9th grade. I'm telling you, I got that much stroke.
And guess what?
If I go because you know what? I'm not asking them to do no mean. See, that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys in this business that's locally, they don't understand. They asking for favors.
Right.
I ain't asking them dudes for no favors.
Right.
I'm gonna give them the intel and look them in the eye when I see them, and they understand. We've been knowing each other for 2 decades, yo. So remember, I gave you this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I gave you that guy.
Mhm.
Remember, I gave you this guy. Remember, I gave you that guy. Remember, all them guys end up. So now I'm giving you another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Guess what? They don't feel guilty. This is the perfect time because there's no such thing as them feeling guilty for having too many Texans on the roster. I mean, in the rankings no more.
Mm.
Texas is the new California, which California was the new New York. I mean, the new Chicago, which Chicago was the new New York.
Right.
Texas now is the new that.
Yeah.
Now, guess what? Some of our players still want to move to California and play, but guess what?
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Guess what? Everybody want to go and smell and go and see that beach and see those beaches at one time or another.
Yeah, man.
Ain't no wrong with it.
We got
But at
beaches.
the same time,
Jimmy, we got beaches out here. They might not be that nice looking, but we got beaches.
Yeah.
But keep going.
you guys feel me on that. You guys feel me that. And yes, Barry McDonald said it's some heavy hitters in the Hoop Hall West tournament. No, it's not a tournament. It's a showcase. And here's what's at stake. Duncanville plays Montverde tomorrow, 7:30. That's 9:30 Houston time. No, I'm sorry. Phoenix is 1 hour back, right? Right now.
I don't know. It changed.
I think it's 8:30 Houston, 7:30 Phoenix time.
Mm-hmm.
And Montverde just lost to IMG.
Yeah, Keontae George.
But IMG lost to Sunrise.
Sure did.
And Montverde beat Sunrise. Duncanville beat Sunrise unofficially, beat the dog. Oh, I wish that YouTube wasn't verified. I want to say that name. They beat the she.
Hey, beat the dog. The dog.
I put my E's in there.
Right.
They beat out of them unofficially. So psychologically, you know, when you got the voting, it's a human being that's doing the rankings.
Right.
They have to, that person that does the rankings has to be reminded. Well, yeah, we know that game was a scrimmage or exhibition, but when you lose exhibitions like that, by that magnitude, let's not play. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Duncanville, you ain't gonna make up that many points. You're not gonna make up that many points. Now,
we'll
here's
see.
The thing.
Huh?
I'm talking about. So here's the thing: if Duncanville beats Sunrise in the exhibition, they get to play Montverde. Not to mention the fact that of course, they beat Sierra Canyon. Sierra Canyon didn't have
Amari.
They started, right? But so keep that same energy. Are we counting the amount of games that Lakers lost without LeBron James? Are we counting the amount of games that Brooklyn Nets lose without Kyrie Irving?
They lost.
Do we count the Chicago Bulls lose without DeMar DeRozan? Do we count? So really, that goes into the equation. If Alabama loses this week in a couple of weeks in the bowl game, are we gonna count that? They ain't had a wide receiver. Nobody don't give a damn about that. Your team is ranked this. And if they basing on one player, that team shouldn't have been ranked that high in the first place. So this is the thing now, when you guys see, I got two different caps. I got the H-Town, the Greater Houston cap, and boy, I got that Texas cap. I'm about to put that Texas cap on when I go out of the state. I do it all the time. A lot of you guys don't see that because that ain't your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's why I tell you, ask the people. They'll tell you.
But half of them don't know the people.
Guys. Well, when they do meet them, ask them. Ask them. Ask them. They'll tell you. And that's how much, there's no, guys, understand something. When this state is rocking, and we often rocking, we've often, think about it. When social media emerged was around about 10 years ago, right? When it became, everybody had a bandwidth to be online and be texting and tweeting. and everything. You didn't have your plans like that. The towers wasn't right for some platform. People laugh. Hell, now Cricket can come back in business and get it in.
Jimmy, really, when Steve Jobs hooked this thing right here, it went crazy because it was easy. Because the Blackberries, I didn't go all of them apps when I had the Blackberry. But when Steve Jobs hooked this thing right here, it changed. I'm not, yeah. So keep going. 10 years ago. Around that area. Right.
Yeah. And so back then, about 10 years ago, I'll take you guys back. And sometimes you got to remind people, because I remind you guys, the grown-ups, about the future, about the past, and refresh your memory, relight your candle, then you can hold that candle to show some of these young people up under you and show them the light and the way and make them understand from yesteryear. Here's what happened a couple of years back. It started in 2010, this decade. No, it was 10 years before then when the Willow Ridge jumped out there in 2000 and then 2001. Then Dallas Lincoln come right back in 2002 and went undefeated and won the mythical national championship, USA Today, 40-0 with Dallas Lincoln. That's tipped the things off in the state of Texas. That means we were hot. I just came on the scene at that time. So the state of Texas was hot. But then guess what? We had those young people in 2000 and That was 2001 was Houston. It was hot. 2002, it switched over to DFW. 2003, it switched back over to H to Greater Houston. We had 2003 and 2004. And then in 2003, it was Indy Eby, Cartier Martin, Kendrick Perkins, Lanny Smith, Tag Minor. Just to name a few. I can go on and on. Marcus Hall, Michael Ume. I can go on, in that class. Then 2004, Daniel Gibson, Jamar McClellan, headline. They were the headliners in that class. 2005, we had a few of them. We had a couple of them, but we had one dude that took the world by storm. And that was Gerald Green, 2005. Gerald Green was good enough to Rick. When you got one player that's good enough to get a sneaker deal, Rick Nelson got a Reebok deal of Gerald Green per Chris Rivers. Then 2006, we had the Thunder. We had the think about it. So think about that run. 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. We had Nick Wise. We had DJ Augustine, even though he was borrowed for the year. Hurricane. They headlining. Gary Johnson come right behind him. Jay Lucas, McDonald All-American 2007. BJ Holmes kicking butt. That's when Chris Walker had the T-Mac All-Stars kicking butt. We had multiple teams kicking butt. That was a run. 5 years. So don't you think Dallas got tired of that? They got tired of us beating up. They got tired of that. So then, understand, 5 years. And they got tired. Think about it. You got to hear John Urie mouth. And during that time, you had the Houston Swoosh. We had the Houston Heat. During that span, 2004. These are independent teams that were kicking ass and kicking sneaker teams' ass. Houston Hoop Stars had just started out. Keith White, 2006. Shannon Sharp kicking ass. Then we go 2007. DeAndre Jordan, Christian Life doing it, kicking butt. 2000. Then you move on in 2009. Of course, 2009, Tommy Mason Griffin. We mentioned those three: Dre Penn, Jamal Finn, the best trio of sub 6 foot guards from one class probably in the history of the city. Probably, I'm going to say in the history of any city in the state of Texas. I'm gonna wake Dallas up on this one. You find me another threesome of guards from one class that was under, we ain't gonna even say sub 6 foot, Haller. We're gonna make another line. We're gonna call it sub 5'10" and under. We're gonna make sure there ain't nothing close to that marker, right? Taking you back, blast to the past. But it started in 2010, Haller, when Jack Yates made that run. People were able to watch Jack Yates on TV, right? Mm-hmm. As Jack Yates was kicking butt, it was fun to watch him because their games wasn't those games that were, remember, they also set the record for the most 100-point games in a row. I think it was 1,400-point games in a row. And they had Division I talent. 6, maybe 7 guys off that 2010 team signed Division I, went Division I off Yates' team. That may be the most ever in the history of any school from HISD. Black history. So what happened in 2010, then it spilled over that next summer, right? Well, 2 summers later, because the next summer we had a boatload of talent. That summer of 2011, remember that? That was when they had that's when you had the LJ Roses and the J. Michael Reeses and you had the Bahamas kids, the Warner Bells and the Michael Carriage. You gotta realize a lot of those kids did not live up to the hype, but that don't mean that it wasn't no hype.
Yeah, they was
it was a bunch. Cameron Ridley was in that class. Daniel House. All these guys were in the same class, right? Julian Lewis came behind that. So now, here's what happened. I'm fresh in memory. Remember that was one summer in Orlando, Florida. And during that summer back then, Adam, me and you went and flew to Colorado to support the Houston Defenders.
Yep.
They had the Twins. Twins had been making some noise. It wasn't just
Derek
the Twins.
Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin, Jonathan Motley,
Wesley.
Wesley Wandu.
Mhm.
They were playing in this, and a team from Indiana had been kicking a little butt, and they talking about they might meet up, and let's, let's fly up there to the Pumps event, and let's go up to Denver and support the H-Town. That's what happens. And it was us against the world in that gym. Good smack. Good smack. Kept it above the belt. Good smack. And we went, and they won. And then a couple of months later, the Defenders ended up going on. They invited them to play on national on ESPN, right? On ESPN, right?
Mhm.
You remember the Defenders played Boo Williams, right? And kicked some butt. That means now it was turning. And we won that. Those guys won on national TV. Then you go on. Then after then, you had right on the heels of that, you had DFW had Deion Sanders, Prime Prep, Ray Fawcett, and all those guys. They came in and emerged on the scene with their charter school, and then it went back. It shifted up that way. And then it kept going. That's how we got through this whole thing. Then it shifted back to us in 2014. We had Justice Winslow, Justin Jackson, Kelly Oubre, and he moved away. It goes in peaks and valleys, guys. That's what I'm saying to you. It's just that sometimes people, I don't know how people can allow themselves to be misled and thinking like it's just it's a long-term stronghold that DFW has on Houston.
Jimmy,
I've told you
Jimmy,
before.
I just think it's recency bias. What happened recent? I think people are caught up in the moment. That like I said, it's recency bias. It ain't that. I mean, and then some people don't know the history. You just walk them through this history, and maybe we need to walk them through history again. Dallas this and Dallas this and Dallas this. No, it wasn't always Dallas this. It was Houston this and Houston this. So guess what? Now we're talking about in the next few years, we're going to be talking about Dallas, Houston, Dallas, Houston, Dallas. Then we're going to talk about the whole state. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a great thing. I'm glad Dallas doing something. Because guess what? What we got to instill in our kids and our coaches down here, man, let's go to work. We don't want nobody to give us nothing. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. We didn't have the pandemic. If we keep on, it's trending backwards. I mean, trending down. Let's go to work. Let's get in the gym. Let's get better. Let's identify these guys and the guys that we see that got so much promise. Listen, y'all, it's like a tube. Everybody ain't gonna fit in the tube at first. You can't fit them all. Ain't nobody gonna get in the tube. We got to go four at a time. Four, and if we get the 4 in, then people gonna say, "Damn, what's going on in Houston? What's going on in Dallas? What's going on in Texas?" Then they gonna come back and say, "Oh, it's big down in Texas." So, and that's what I think. In the unique position you in, Jimmy, and a lot of people don't understand when people talk about you be hating on their kids and hating on. It behooves you if these guys are great. Let me repeat that. It helps you out when these guys are great. They ain't been with me and saw how you be up there talking stuff about Houston and Texas to these other guys, national guys. They just think, well, Jimmy ain't thinking about Houston. Man, the man said don't mess with Texas when he out of town. See, we get into this. We need to get better, man. That's why I love this show, Jim. I told a person the other day, I said, this is not a talk show. This is an action show. They might label it a talk show, but it's an action show. We trying to give y'all information where you can do action afterwards. And Jimmy, guess what? In the messiest intersection in the world, summer basketball, high school basketball. It's messy. Messy. We got guys leaving programs. We got guys, this guy, I'm gonna take this guy over here. I'm gonna take this guy over here. When we got to have, Jimmy, if you own these shoe snaking teams, y'all got to have the best players, so when y'all go out there, you don't get your fucking your freaking head toe off. You got to be able to make some noise when you go national. So I mean, I'm just watching this thing. Y'all gotta understand. I'm sitting back watching. I'm sitting back taking notes because we're gonna figure this thing out. I'm thinking about John Lucas. John Lucas said, man, I just want a marquee player to come out of Houston that play in the league. We got all right players. They got players that got max contracts, but they ain't nobody thinking about their ass. They not marquee. Robert Haller, I'm like John Lucas. I want to see the pros come out of this city. We doing it. That's what you doing it for. If you trying to be a pro, they ain't going to be a pro. But you got, one thing I learned about pros, they got a hell of a habits. Just talking to them and being around them for 30 years, they got habits. They sacrifice young high school players. The girlfriend might have to sacrifice because I got to get my lesson and I got to play ball. If she like me, she'll be around. We got to sacrifice. Coaches, we got to sacrifice. Summer coaches, we got to sacrifice. Quit all this bickering back and forth. Man, I don't want my kid. You don't want your kid to work out with Teddy because Teddy is still your kid. And I know they stealing around here. I understand that. But if somebody is getting the best results, let's get the best results. Let's get the kids and get the best results. That's all. I want to see some more pros come out of this city. I'll never forget, Jimmy, you remember Gerald Green. Jimmy, I flew back. I was somewhere else because back in them days, Jimmy, I was just all over the world with guys. I flew back to that game. It was so, now you talking about crowd. They wouldn't let nobody in that game. Gerald Green done played somebody in this game. I mean, they just brought me through the back door. But y'all, let's make this thing happen, man. And Jimmy, you can end it because I mean, it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah. We of course we at that time, and we make sure you want for more details. Of course, you can go over to rcssports.com, and you can check out recaps of many of the action around the greater Houston area, the high school games. Also, the UIL has released their cutoff numbers for the upcoming realignments for the classifications, which will be released in a few weeks. And we have those numbers. We posted them in the VIP news on rcssports.com. Also, we gave you you guys an update on the upcoming court hearing for Anthony Black of Duncanville. That's in the VIP news on RCS Sports, as well as Doug Jones provides recaps. He was at the Beaumont United and Sealsby game last night. We had Bruce Pearl in the building for Wesley Yates III. You also Jeffrey Day will have a recap from the Atascocita and Westfield game today. That would be on the front of the website, and I posted a detailed recap from the Booker T. Washington Clear Lake game, in which, in case you missed it, there was a 10th grader named Chris McDermott. He's about 6'7" and a half. He produced 29 points, 28 rebounds, and 4 block shots in the 72-62 win. Of course, his teammate Kenneth Lewis had 27 in the process, and he has a chance to be special. Other than that, guys, once again, go to RCS Sports and get the details from that game. And one thing about Clear Lake Halle that we didn't want to insert and remind you guys, this Clear Lake team, they were without their leading scorer. He's a guard that's going to Williamson College up in Massachusetts. But they did have a 6'10" 12th grader. That was
Like him.
he's 6'10" in the paint. So a lot of this stuff that Chris McDermott did,
Was over
and
six,
this 6'10" kid, guess what? He's not no 4-star. He ain't no 5-star. He can play. He can play college basketball somewhere if he wants to. He lives in Clear Lake, so sometimes they financial economic situation. If he wants to play college basketball, he will be able to play next year. So this 29 and 28 and 29 or 29 and 28
went against a
was
big dude. A
legitimate college prospect. That's what I want to add into that. This wasn't against no 5'10".
That's a great point.
This was against a legitimate college prospect. So I want to get that out there. But anyway, guys, we want to ask you guys to share the show on your way out the door today, man. Good convo for everybody, man. Great to keep this thing lit. Shout out once again to Tag Minor. This should be your week, brother. John and also John Brady, who came down, his former head coach at LSU basketball, actually flew down to be a part of the last night's ceremony.
That was nice.
That says a lot as well, especially everybody that knows or has privy to the ups and downs of this head coach, the head coach who actually was there when you got suspended or expelled, and he comes back in your life and you embrace him and you invite him back for that moment. That lets you know the length of which Tag Minor has grown from boy to man in this world. Shout out to him as well and his family. But for Robert Hatter, this Jim Mix, it was time to slide down Dino's back and yabba dabba dabba this thing on this Tuesday. We'll be back at you guys on tomorrow. Of course, I'll try to get in where I fit in at, but and then give you guys some updates.
Chris Walker should be here tomorrow with me.
Good deal. And we saw Chris out there trying to bootlegging some pictures off the internet like he was on the court. Like he was on the court. They never show his face. He's I know what he was doing. Chris wasn't there. Anyway, I'm just joking, man. I know Chris.
Hey, he loved that Villanova. He loved that
He didn't win Hollywood. I'm gonna see how much he loved him on Sunday. I'm gonna try to stick my hand in his pocket. When they play them Baylor Bears on Sunday down there in Waco. Yeah, you might need to go on up to that game. I need to put you on assignment, Hal. You might need to drive on up to Waco. You need to get on up there. Get on up there, Hal. I'll be flying on back.
Hey, like somebody used to tell me, already.
Anyway, guys, we up out of here, man. Share that show on the way out the door. Peace, man. Chop shop. We up out of here.
Let me hit that button.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro, let's get it. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop.